Hi guys, we just thought we'd have a brief catch up at the end of August and talk about a few things that have come out this month, as well as some games that have made headlines and a splash that you've probably heard of. I know Nathan, you're doing a video on Fall Guys currently. Have you putting
Yeah,
some
it's
clips
kind
together?
of like a group video, yeah, of all of us kind of messing about in it, really.
So we'll cover a few topics there, and then we'll just have a chat at the end and see where we're up to. So the first thing I'd like to kick it off with, if that's all right, Nathan, is the Halo delay news.
Yeah. This is a big one.
What do you
What?
think? I mean,
Well, right, so this is a big one, but at the same time, I don't think it's as big as people make it out to be, only because the way they're launching their new next gen console is so different than previous. So I feel like if this news came out at any other like launch Xbox launch console, I think it would have hurt them. But the way they're marketing their console, it doesn't really feel like the same way as PlayStation's trying to launch the PlayStation 5. It's like the PlayStation 5 is the next gen, and if you want to play these games, you need a PlayStation 5. But the Xbox or Microsoft, should I say, they've kind of been like, you can get the Xbox Series X to play the Game Pass. Do you know what I mean? Like you can buy this console so you can actually play a real platform, which is the Game Pass. And Halo being the biggest game for the Xbox Series X to launch with, and now it's been delayed. It is obviously it is a big setback for Xbox, but I feel like with the other games that they kind of like the way they're marketing it, it's not as bad because they kind of like market as in we have got consistently good games coming out. Like even from the last event they did, I've played a fair few already. None of them are like game of the year material, but they're all very enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad that I had this service and I played them all, and I've played about what 6 games like since that event, and I feel like a lot of the games they announced on that event aren't like big game changers, but it is letting you know that all these games are consistently coming out at a good pace. So I feel like if this was any other console, it would have hurt them. But because of the way they're releasing their new next gen kind of like marketing, it doesn't affect them as hard as a lot of people would think it is.
I completely agree with you. I don't think anyone could really argue that point. What I'm interested in though is I know you like marketing and the psychology behind stuff, and why why have they announced, in the past couple of weeks that they're delaying it till next year when we've seen people like The Last of Us do the same thing and blame it on COVID and lockdown and people working from home. And you said something about, there's hundreds of different people working across loads of different teams, and to kind of coordinate everyone is just too difficult, so they've had to delay it. But surely, I mean, what, we're 9 months into,
Yeah.
7 months into when COVID really hit and everyone was aware of the impact of it.
Yeah.
Why do you wait? Why are they doing it right before? I think it's a proper weak move by them. Like you said, I don't think it affects them as much as Sony or Nintendo if they were releasing a console. But it's a weak move because it makes them look weak. And
Yeah.
I don't, the timing seems off to me. And I don't get why they've done it this way. Why not announce this before they had the showcase? Before they revealed it
Yeah.
last month? Why do it, or the start of this month, was it? But why do it now? Why do it a couple of months before we're expecting the series X to come out? It just seems like a weak move. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, what it comes across to me is it's there's two major things, and one of them is more speculation of rumors that we've heard, and that's the studio's 343, is it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I got it the wrong way around, but yeah, that studio, they've always kind of been unreliable to Microsoft in terms of hitting deadlines. Even with the previous Halo 4 and 5, it's such a big IP that they were given, and I just don't feel like they're hitting targets like. I mean, obviously, it's not easy making games like this, but there's no excuse. There's other companies that have massive games too, like Naughty Dog and Last of Us. I know they did delay it, but they didn't delay it to this point because
No.
this game was meant to be out at least 2 years ago. Do you remember? It was about 3 years ago they announced the game, and then a year later they didn't show anything, and then a year later they shown a cinematic that kind of didn't tell us anything. It was a bit weird, and then he finally said, "Well, we got gameplay of it," but I think. That's the first part of it, but I think the second part of it is I know this game had a massive budget, and it did. We don't know how much. People speculate it was about 500 million. I don't know if it was that high or something around that, but it's because they were creating a new engine. I forgot the name of the engine, but it was a brand new engine. It was meant to be the bee's knees. You know, not like every company kind of says that, I guess, but it was meant to be the next big engine. And I feel like 2 years into development, Microsoft went, no, you need to use this engine because we want this game to look stunning. Do you know what I mean? We need this game to look next gen. And I feel like that kind of made the development go back a year. And then they had to recover from it. And I feel like the game we saw is not the game that was intended 2 years ago, if that makes sense. And I feel with the backlash they got from it, because they got a lot of backlash. Screenshots, the graphics, whatever it is people were complaining about. Pop-ins were coming in late as well. And they were all justified. Like, I remember when I saw it, I thought it looked okay. But when you see people taking screenshots.
Slow down and stuff.
Yeah, they slowed the game down. This is popping in at the wrong time or popping in late. And you can kind of see, like, it does feel like this game's been in development for 2 years and not 4 years, like it kind of already has. But I feel like with the new, with them trying to implement the new engine that they wanted to like show both, this is the new like next gen kind of graphics. I think it kind of hurt the whole game, and I feel like they had to start the whole game from scratch again midway through. Not talking completely ground up, but a good amount.
Do you think the backlash has had a big play in it then? Because that's, in my mind, that seems to be the only speed bump they've really come across in the past month when they released that gameplay, trailer, and everyone was like, "This is Halo 2 graphics." Like,
yeah,
what the fuck? This is Halo 3 graphics. What the fuck? This is not a new Halo game, like you said, that's been in the works for so many years.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that played a big impact on them announcing the delay now? Is it a Sonic film thing? Have they just had to go back to the drawing board and be like, look, this is seriously not good enough? Do you reckon Microsoft have turned to them and been like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, we were expecting something big and that just wasn't it. And I think a lot of people were expecting something massive, especially all the gameplay teaser and then the other two teasers that they did, and it was all building up to something huge, and then when we got it, it was pretty underwhelming, I think.
Yeah, I think I do, like, obviously I do defend the game quite a bit if some stuff that I think is unfair, but the thing that is fair is it was underwhelming. I couldn't imagine anyone looking at that and seeing it in the same way as someone watching, Spider-Man Miles Morales or Horizon. It was not a killer title for something that we would expect from massive IP, Halo. And I do think what you said before is true. I think Microsoft, obviously they're not going to post it on Twitter, so it's a bit unprofessional, but they've got to be disappointed with that studio, right? They really, really must.
How much money's gone into it as well?
Yeah, the amount of money they got. I mean, like I said, half that budget probably is the new engine that we've yet to see. That's meant to be the next big thing, but it is a massive budget, And the way Microsoft are marketing their games now, it's not like they're going to be making money off that one game. It's we want the Game Pass to be more appealing. So here's can you make Halo as best as you can? It's not like they're going to be it's not like The Last of Us 2 when Sony just made a killing of that one title alone. They're just trying to make their games as a service more appealing, and it's just getting to the point when it's like, how much money are we willing to pay? Because how much profit are they making and how much budgets are they giving to these studios? But I gotta say, I gotta agree with the delay. If they don't feel like it's ready to be released, I'm really glad they're not releasing it. That I'm all for that. But I just can't believe that this studio is messed up this bad, if that makes sense. Just going off what we've heard and stuff like that. I mean, I want Halo to be a good game. Whether it will be, I don't know. But this is a big disappointment, basically.
Yeah, I think Microsoft must be applying some pressure there, and like you said, I think we all would rather wait an extra year and get a polished, completed game than it be released in November or December, and it just be like, and not actually a full game until June next year or something. I think we'd all rather wait. It's just, I just don't like the way they've done it. It feels like they've thrown a curveball at the last second when surely it must be something they're aware of, or they genuinely believed in that trailer and then they got the backlash and Microsoft as well were like, no, it's not enough. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I'd
Um,
love to be the fly on the wall, though, when obviously Microsoft saw the footage before they presented it on their event, of course. I mean, I couldn't imagine, though, like the head of Microsoft watching that footage and being like, so, where's the real footage? Where's the 5 million? Where's the 500 million? But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm glad that it's getting delayed because if they don't feel like it's ready, then I'm all up for a delay. But Microsoft are not going to be saying that launching a brand new next gen system. It
no,
is a massive. It's not a bad. It's not a good move on their behalf, but it's got to be done, I guess.
So then, on the opposite end of the spectrum, let's talk about the biggest success of August. And I know you really like it. Like you said, you're putting some footage together of it, of all of us. And that's
Yep.
Fall Guys. I believe it was out on the 4th of August, PC and PS4 release.
Yeah.
Wow. Like this was I think the last game that made me feel like this was Apex. Do you know the hype around it, like
Yeah.
that Shadow Drop hype,
Yeah.
and it was like, but this, I think, I don't know the numbers, but it feels like it's far surpassed anything Apex could have come up with. I know it's the most downloaded game on PlayStation Store, I think, ever, and that's at the end of the gen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are going into a new gen, but it's not out. Like, that's a big achievement in a month, in 3 weeks. What do you think? Why?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not like it's gonna sound big-headed me saying this, but I was saying that this game was gonna blow up before it came out. I remember I was saying to a lot of people like, "You guys need to watch out for this game." And I'm not saying anyone thought it looked bad or anything, but I was like, "No, this game it just seems like it could be a big hit," and it did come out. But what I didn't expect them that they did do was release it on the PlayStation Plus month for a free title. And that's genius, not just because it's a free game and everyone's got access to it. Once the PC players still have to buy it. So if they feel left out, they're gonna have to pay, I think it was $15.99 in the UK.
Something like
And
that.
this month's over now. This month's over. The advertisement is already out there now. You look at your favorite streamer, they might be playing it right now. There's a couple of streamers that I watch that only play first-person shooters or only play fighting games, and they're streaming this game. But if you are a PlayStation, if you do own a PlayStation, it's too late now. You have to buy it now. It was free, so it's like they're getting the perks of the free-to-play, of like Apex when everyone can download it, which was true, but the window's gone now. So anybody that wants to play it now that was a bit late to the game, you got to pay the $15.99, and that's kind of like genius. That's like, to me, I think this is just extra money and like for them now. Anyone who came in late to the game, they're gonna pay that full price, and it's just extra money, I think.
I agree with you. It's genius marketing, and to go alongside that, the social media marketing has been phenomenal. I mean, we've got two of the biggest YouTubers and streamers on the planet competing against each other, for this to get their skins in the game or to get their outfits on the characters. That's mad. Like Ninja and Mr. Beast, and Ninja was working with someone else at another company. I think there was a fourth company involved as well. But like now they're donating $1 million to charity, to a charity which helps kids with disabilities play video games and adapt controllers and stuff for them. And that, how can you fault that? Like, it's been clean across the board. There's been no, I mean, there's been I think technical issues with the game, the servers and stuff. There's been problems there, but we're talking about first month teething issues. There's nothing has broken the game. Do you know what I mean? It's fairly well balanced. There's some issues with it, I think, in the game, but there are no. It's not like you can have the upper hand going into it. PC players won't be better than console players, and it just feels like this is a clean sweep. But for me personally, I think they have lockdown to thank entirely.
Right.
I do think if we weren't in lockdown, if the world wasn't currently as it is, this game wouldn't be anywhere near as successful as it is.
Right.
I genuinely believe that. I think there's a lot of repetition in the game. There's a lot of basic issues for me in terms of the gameplay, and the level design and other things. I don't think this is a game that's going to compete with Fortnite or any other kind of massive games long term, I think this is a short-lived game, and they need to get as much out of it as they can. I give this game a year tops
Ooh.
before it maybe not even that before it's done and it's dead in
Yeah,
the water.
for the
Like
hype.
unless they do some Fortnite level ingenuity and come up with some amazing designs and incredible things, I think this is a fad. It's a fad game. I don't see it lasting.
See, I gotta say, I'm seeing Fortnite kind of like vibes here. Like basically Fortnite, they put the money back into the game. And I feel like that's why it got so successful. Like they weren't stingy with Apex when that launched. It did very well at the start, and then it started slowly like falling down a little bit. But already they're adding skins to the game. From other third party companies. Like there's the Portal, a character from the Portal series as a costume, and they're already in talks on Twitter. With Cyberpunk. I think I won't be surprised if we see a Cyberpunk coming out there now. I feel like they're just ticking all the right boxes in terms of this game being successful. And I do agree with you, even though I do enjoy the game, maybe I enjoy the game more than you, but I do think it's incredibly basic. It is so basic, but they're doing it the right way. Like there's more people that enjoy it being played this way than if it was actually more skill involved. Did that make sense? Like I feel like there's just a bigger audience they're like attracted to rather than more skill based kind of games. And stuff like that, it just kind of gives me hope that I think it will last a while. Like I said, you got the costumes coming in. I feel like it's only just the start. They're showing the teaser for the season 2, and they're already adding a lot of new like mini games to add to the whole current game. I feel like it's only going to get bigger and bigger unless they lose steam sort of thing. But I can't see it happening anytime soon.
Doesn't look
Yeah.
bad. Right, okay. So what I was saying about Fall Guys, I think because there's no skill ceiling, because there's no learning curve to it, because it's so basic and the structure of the game, you can't get better at the game apart from learning the level designs. It won't be able to compete with games like Fortnite where you can crank out 90s, games like Rocket League when you can do 360 half flips, games like Counter-Strike where you just naturally like skilled with the keyboard and mouse and you're able to react like an FPS. That's why I think it's a fad. I don't think no matter how many skins, even new levels you put into it, really, there's only so many times you're going to watch a streamer repeat the same mistakes over and over again and find it entertaining, especially from a viewing streamer's point of view. Like for me, yeah, all right, it's funny when they get knocked off by the propeller and they're fuming, but that's just going to be the same situations being contrived again and again. And I think it's going to lose steam itself naturally, unless they do something massive, like with the level designs or with the structure of the games by introducing new mechanics. Then yeah, I can see it lasting. Like, but the marketing, adding new character skins, working in collaboration with other games, it's not going to be enough to keep it going, I don't think.
I mean, I do think you bring up good points. Like with it having a very small like skill ceiling, with like in terms of like being skilled at the game, because and that's what it's kind of made to be. A bit of fun sort of thing. Obviously, there's people that are better than others. I mean, but in terms of like the gap between beginners and like pro gamers, if you want to say that, there isn't that much of a gap, compared to Fortnite, which is a massive success. I do get what you're saying, and you could be right. To be fair, I just don't see it going off the teaser trailer for the next season. It already looks like they're adding new games. Like they only shown like a couple of little bits of some levels, but it's like you've already got to like grab blocks and then jump on the platforms to get to the other side, sort of thing. I mean, it's not the biggest like change up in terms of like gameplay, but it is something. And I don't know, like you said, I don't know how much they're going to need to add to keep the game going. Whether that'll be enough, I'm not too sure. But at the moment, I can't see it dying off. I feel like it's going to be here for like at least another 3 years. Maybe not as big. Obviously, everything slowly dies down. But yeah, I still
Apart
think
from Fortnite.
yeah, well, the player base has dropped down a bit, but it was so high
Yeah,
up anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the same thing. It's the same with Fall Guys. I mean, I'm sure the player base is sky high right now. Even if it goes down to half, it'll still be massive.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that the point that you made there, like adding new mechanics as in climbing on stuff and lifting it, that's what will be key to longevity in this game for me, and I think for a wider audience, especially for streamers to produce new content, there has to be new mechanics because there can't be new situations because of how like linear some of the levels are in the maps. Like tail tag, like catching the tails and stuff. There's only so many situations which are that entertaining that you're willing to watch 2 or 3 or 4 times. But after that, when
Yeah,
you see that level come up, you'll be clicking off it because you'll be like,
yeah.
I know what's going to happen here. I'm not going to see anything new. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to see 4 headshots in a row and someone crank a tower and drop down. Or like that's what I mean. Like if they introduce new mechanics, yeah, I get that. That would keep it fresh. But there's only so many I think they can do within the confines of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying all this. I'm not like entirely confident, but it's just what I feel at the moment. But you could be absolutely right. It's like you say. Obviously the it exploded, but yeah, like you said, normally with these type of games, it's the competitive scene that kind of carries the game on throughout the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. And Fortnite's a good example of that. I mean, if you look at the esports side of Fortnite, it's just ridiculous. Like the amount of tournaments. Well, I know. I mean, obviously not now with the whole COVID and stuff, but and the amount of tournaments do you support? But I mean, remember the Fortnite World Cup? Like
Yeah,
people that didn't even play games at work. I was working at
massive.
JD at the time. Yeah, they were saying, "Oh, what's this Fortnite thing with 3 million?" I just pretended I didn't know, to be honest. I was just like, yeah, it is massive. So, and you could be right. You could be right on the money. To be fair, I never really thought of it that way, because like you said, there's only going to be so many times you're going to watch someone fall off. You know what I mean? How funny is it going to be? The 5,000 times it's happened, sort of thing.
What do you think about you've touched on a point there. What do you think about the competitive gaming scene? I know there's not much going on at the minute with everything happening, but can Fall Guys enter that arena? Because
See,
that would be another key to keep it going, I think.
yeah, no, you are right with that. Like I was kind of thinking for it to succeed would be through the costumes and through the social media stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if you're going through the competitive gaming way, I just don't think it'll work. Because I mean, Colin, another member of this channel, and Stephen, another member of the channel, we were all laughing about people wanting ranked mode in this game, and we're just like, it's Fall Guys. Like, why do you want ranked mode in this game? But if you just use that as an example in terms of rank mode equals, like competitive play, some people do want competitive play, but do the majority of the fan base want competitive play? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I agree with you. I don't think it is a competitive game. It's like a sitcom on TV. It's like Friends. You
Right.
ain't going there to think about shit, and you're not looking for an exciting drama, but you're gonna get your laughs along the way, and you're gonna
Right.
sit down and zone out, and you're gonna enjoy it. I agree with you. It's not looking to win any, Oscars. It's just looking to entertain people, and I
But
think it does do it well to its credit.
yeah, I mean, I was thinking of like, something like Minecraft. I mean, obviously that's not like a competitive game, but it's, that's still going quite strong now. I mean, I know it's not the same type of game, so I don't know if it'll work in the same way, but I'm just trying to like give examples of maybe one or two games that have succeeded without the competitive
Yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. I think the difference, though, again, is that you can create new situations in Minecraft.
Hmm.
You can't necessarily do that
Yeah.
with Fall Guys. Is there anything else you wanted to say about Fall Guys before we move
No,
on?
no, no. I think it did. I thought you brought up some good points actually. Yeah. I mean, whether the social side of it with the costumes and stuff like that is it good enough to carry it to 2 years, I'm not too sure. I think at the moment it is, but it's still new, still in the honeymoon phase, if that makes sense. Like I think everyone's still hyped on it, but we'll see, I guess. I mean, I think you're right in what you're saying. The competitive side, I just don't see it happening ever. I mean, like I said, a couple of us in this channel were like laughing at the thought of rank mode. So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see for that one.
It will be interesting though, because what I like, and I like new things. I like things that shake things up, and it's a completely new genre or platform of way
Yeah.
of doing things. And Fall Guys has done that, but then I'm very pessimistic about it, which is weird because you'd think I'd be drawn to that more so than most of us, to be honest with you, because I like my new style of games. Like I'm really open to them, but
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason I've just not clicked with this one. But then talking about a game I have clicked with quite well, Ghost of Tsushima has this month, I believe, received a new difficulty setting. which was sorely needed. I know you've not played it, but I'm guessing you've seen a lot of things on it and you've read a lot
Yeah,
about
it
it.
was actually one of my criticisms of no not purchasing the game, the
Yeah,
difficulty, what I've heard. So that's definitely good news.
it is. Yeah, yeah. There are other issues with the game. Like I've said to you before the podcast, before this podcast, we are going to try and get a couple of other members of the channel to kind of go through the game with an in-depth comb. So we won't do it too much now, but just to touch on something that has been announced this month as well as the new difficulty is that there's going to be co-op multiplayer. Talking as someone who's played it, does it need it? No, not really. Is it the sort of game for it? I would say no, not really. But I think, like you said, Nathan, there's two ways that you can play the game: stealth and then face-to-face combat. And I think from Ghost of Tsushima, they've put too much emphasis on that, as though that's a path that you're always gonna be
Yeah.
like, should I do stealth or should I do combat? No, you just do what you do and what you enjoy doing, because, like you said, the game gets easy enough so that you don't have to choose between either. You can do both, and it doesn't really matter. So the way they've done this, it feels like they're playing it off like, well, you can have one person do stealth and the other goes head-to-head combat and distracts them, and it's like, I don't think that really works that well. But it's a new campaign, it's new characters. Apparently, there's 4 new heroes who are part of the side quest and the build-up to the game. So it should be interesting to see anyway.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing a new edition. I don't look forward to how much it's going to cost. I still think it'll be expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I won't be surprised if it's one of those, like the new Spider-Man game or the Uncharted game. It might be like that kind of type. It might be like marketed in that way.
If it's a 20-hour, 15-hour campaign, above 10 hours, I'd be considering getting it. As long as someone else I know does, because there's no point me doing it on my own.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a game you need to play with someone on party chat. I don't know how many randomers or strangers you could really power through the game with like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is coming from someone who's not played the game, so obviously take everything I say with a pinch of salt. I think Ghost of Tsushima looks really good, but I've never really looked at it and thought it needs this. Do you know what I mean? It needs a co-op to it. But I mean, but I didn't know what you just said then was actually happening with it having its own story sort of thing, its own kind of campaign mode, I guess. But maybe that will work, I guess. But nothing kind of comes out to me like, oh, this game's going to benefit from this, because I don't know. Unless they add completely new mechanics to add to the previous ones, then maybe it'll work. But if they just kind of make it like it plays now, but with 4-player like play base, I don't know if it will add much to it. I mean, obviously, if you're a big fan of the game, it's just more content to play. But
yeah, I agree. It seems like a weird move. It's a sidestep rather than an upgrade, and I
yeah,
don't quite understand it. Like, if they were gonna do that, to be honest with you, I'd rather some kind of unique PvP mode.
right,
Kind of Dark Souls-esque style thing. Obviously, it won't be as
no,
detailed as that, but I would rather that than a co-op. And like I said, if it's more than 10 hours of gameplay and one of my mates is willing to buy it, then I might give it a go. But it's not something that, even if they said, look, here's 30 hours of fresh gameplay co-op, I don't know. I don't know if I'd go through with it. Just
yeah.
have to see.
Yeah, I mean yeah, I kind of feel the same as you. I'm just not sure what it will add to the game, I guess. But I mean, we'll see how much it's priced. I mean, if it's a free to play update, then that'll be insane.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
I cannot see it being free to play. But we'll have to wait and see with that one. But at the moment, yeah, it just kind of feels like an unnecessary addition, I guess. But if you are a fan of it, I'm sure it's just more content.
I agree. Is there anything else you've seen in the news in August then, or any time over the past few months that you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, obviously, a couple of us do love a good bit of Apex to play and stuff like that. But the new season just dropped. I'm thinking of doing a video with another member of the channel, Stephen. Our thoughts, kind of like an in-depth thought video on season 6 as a whole, because I feel like they've added a lot to it. So we'll look forward to that video. I'll go into more detail then. But I'm enjoying that. And then a game that I don't play is Fortnite, and I've just seen the new season trailer, and I just can't believe what I'm seeing in terms of characters. I think it was you that brought it to my attention, actually. I mean, is this a standard from Fortnite now, having characters this big?
Well, last season they had Aquaman. The season before they had Deadpool. It was a spy season. They may have had other people. They
Yeah.
tend to have one big character, followed by their own designed characters that's released different skins of those characters and stuff. The battle pass is I can't fault it. Like you get a lot for your £6.50 now. I think it is this month.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that's they've cut
I
the
will.
price.
I have to give it to them. Like they've not dropped their battle pass in price since season two. Like since season two, it's been the same price, and I think we can all agree that the amount of effort they had to get for these sort of characters to come into the battle pass, they've got to pay a bit more money than they did in the previous seasons, and the battle pass has not gone up in price. You got to give them credit where it's due. You know what I mean?
I mean, look at what we've seen: Stranger Things, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, back to Marvel, but not just Marvel. We're talking X-Men.
Yeah,
Fucking Storm's in it. Like,
yeah.
what the fuck? That's mad. Doctor Doom. Like, it's just like the lineup that they've got. Like, obviously you've got Wolverine. Um, I can't even think of the other ones that they got right now, but they've just got so many Marvel characters.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way they added characters that aren't necessarily like the big ones in terms of the MCU. You know, like you would expect, obviously Captain America's already in it, so maybe they're just running out of like characters to use, and it's like they just put in these extra like kind of superhero like main characters. Like She-Hulk isn't like a big popular character, I don't think,
Yeah,
and she's in it. But someone like me, that's gonna appeal to someone like me who likes that character. Do you know what I mean? Groot, I mean, obviously, Groot is kind of big anyway.
as well.
But they've even got like little cameos for each character. Like I saw one of my streamers playing it, and then he got the raccoon.
Rocket,
Yeah,
Rocket. Mhm.
I'm like, what's going on here?
I,
Like,
sorry, go on.
no, and I just the amount of detail they put to these characters as well. Like this is coming from someone who's still salty from the latest Marvel vs. Capcom game when it just crashed, and the characters just look garbage. But going to like Fortnite, they put a lot of respect into every one of those characters. Like they all look great. Like Wolverine looks like his classic Wolverine style. Storm looks absolutely awesome. I just feel like they've just gave a good amount of respect to each one of these superheroes. Know if you are a fan of them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Like the way they've approached it, you can't really say, "Oh well, he should have had this or he should have done that." Because even Mystique, right? When you kill someone, you can use an emote on Mystique, which then takes over their skin, so you become the person that you've just killed their
yeah,
skin. So that basically unlocks every skin in the game. If you
yeah.
can kill someone with this a certain skin that you want to do for that game, you can turn into that skin. That's mad. Imagine that sort of a mechanic in a game. I never thought anything like that would have been possible.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, you can do the emote and become She-Hulk in the game from her original character. Like Thor, you've got his thunder, you've got his hammer. It's just and Wolverine, you've got his classic costume and his more modern one. It's just done so well, so
Yeah,
well and so tactfully.
I like it's like yeah, like continuing what you just saying. And I saw like it's actually Tony Stark you unlock, not Iron Man. But then you
Yeah,
can I
yeah.
saw it and it does like in the movies, no, and his like costume just like smoothly like comes on sort of thing, like the transition between like Tony Stark to Iron Man. They've even got that down. It's just yeah, like I said, the amount of detail they put into their game is just it is incredible. And like I said, you can definitely see them putting the money back into the game, and that's probably why it's so successful.
And we just keep seeing things as well. Like that's just the battle pass. That's just the battle pass. Alongside this, we've got the actual season of the game itself and all the nerfs and buffs that come with it, and the changing of the weapons and the vaulting of the weapons and the map, the differences on the map, the AIs on the map.
Yeah.
It's just it.
Like the
It's
events
a
they're gonna do.
well-oiled machine. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like I mean, I remember one of the seasons, Batman wasn't part of the battle pass or anything like that. But like midway through the season, it's like, oh, let's just do a Batman town, and you can play as Batman. You know what I mean? It's just, and like Captain America, he's the only reason why he's not in this battle pass is because he was just at a random event. Like, oh, do you want to play Fortnite this weekend? You can unlock Captain America for free. I was like, this is just insane in terms of like content for games. Like we've never seen it to this level ever, ever.
I
Like.
think what excites me is how close their relationship is with Disney right now. Like, and obviously Disney have a monopoly on Star Wars and MCU, and they're two of the biggest franchises going at the moment. Well, Star Wars maybe not so much anymore, but MCU without a shadow of a doubt. And Fortnite are just clicking with it. They're just going with it. And I'm hoping, and they've had things like Stranger Things, like I mentioned, and they've done things with DC, with Batman and Gotham, and with Aquaman. And I'm hoping they lean more towards other things, because I know you mentioned it's all very comic book character based, and it's like, you like comic book characters? Yeah, right. Most people do now. It's more mainstream than it's ever been before. But there'll still be people out there who are like, "Oh, come on, you're killing it. It's dying a death."
Over the top.
So I think we do need to see something from the next season onwards where we're introduced to something completely new that's not this MCU DC kind of competition thing that's going on. But for what they've done, I can't fault them. I'm not bored of it yet. I don't really play the game that much. My son does, but I'm not bored of it. Yeah.
I mean, can we just like appreciate the fact that we've got this game when you can play as a DC character and a Marvel character? You can literally have a squad of Aquaman and Captain America. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is just insane.
It's mad.
I'm sure there's more. Like, you can have Batman, Aquaman, Captain America, and Iron Man. Do you know what I mean? It's just insane. It's just what's going on in life right now. Like, they are like so. To be honest, Fortnite, they've broke so many like boundaries. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, they just smashed the glass ceiling like years ago in my eyes, and they're doing a lot to gaming now. I think in a good way.
The funny thing is, though, we mention these characters, and for our generation and for people of our persuasion, this is what would sell the battle pass to you. But I talked to my son and his friends and my nephews and stuff, and they want Agent Peely, who is from the game Fortnite. Like, they've created this character. They wanted Midas in the last season. They wanted this cat robot. I can't remember the name of it, but they want like the original content Fortnite is producing is being so well received that they can still, even if they drop affiliations with other things, I reckon they've got a legacy there enough to be able to just churn out seasons with their own characters and their own content.
I agree.
They've done. I know I'm singing the praises, but I don't really play the game. Don't think you really play the game. I don't really watch streamers who play the game. But that's a lot of respect for that game. It's doing it right. It's doing it properly.
No, I agree. Like, even I know certain skins to the game, and that's the thing. It's like, it's not like Apex when they've got a whole character you can relate to. It's just skins at the end of the day. And like you said, you got the banana. I know the banana one's really famous. Sprite Bomber, she's really famous as well. The Green Reaper, I don't know his actual real name, but he's like a famous one as well. Yeah, like you said, I think you're right. I think you're right. Their original characters or their original skins is popular enough. Like, I won't be surprised if we see a Fortnite movie at some point. But
yeah. A spin-off Lego game, probably.
Yeah.
Briefly then, one thing you've made me remember is that I don't know how much you want to talk about this, but last week I think it was the new Marvel game. I don't know if you guys spoke about this in the last podcast.
Actually, no, we didn't actually, but I think I know where you're going. But I want to talk about this myself. You carry on.
Well, it looks like we're seeing, we are seeing a battle pass per character, so that you can unlock their things. Now, I would caveat it by saying that although it's a battle pass character, you can earn enough points in the one battle pass to then purchase another character. It's still tight though, isn't it?
No, they're being very clever how they're doing it, and the way I see it at the moment. But like I say, take what I say with a pinch of salt, because the game's not out yet. I've not obviously not got the game to like prove what I'm saying, but that game's the type of game when you level up a character. It's like different classes. Like, each hero kind of counts towards a different class. So if you want to be like Hulk, be the powerhouse, you're gonna have to level him up all the way up to the end of the battle pass, and then you can start your next, then you can start your next battle pass for the other, for Iron Man or something like that. Like, there's no way you're gonna play hours worth with just one character, with that game being the way it is. Like, they're not skins, they are legit characters. Like, you're gonna, even if you want to play, like, if I'm say I got the battle pass for Hulk and then I'm level 22 or something like that, like I play it for a fair few hours and I want to level up Iron Man, I'm gonna have to pay full price for Iron Man, because I've not completed a Hulk yet, and there's no way you're gonna play one character per battle pass unless it's extremely short, which is another conversation in its own, I guess. If it's just for £10, it's it's quite a lot. Yeah, I think they're being very clever about it, and I feel like adding that in is just enough to kind of keep it under the radar, I think. But as soon as I saw it, I was just like, this company is doing such bad business. Like I've already said my thoughts on about the whole Spider-Man being exclusive to one console. I know a lot of PlayStation, players are going to be, so what's the problem? But it's not the fact that they're getting exclusive counter that really offends me. It's the fact that Spider-Man is going to fill a void in terms of gameplay. And if you want to play a team with with whatever Spider-Man's ability is, they're kind of hurting their own game. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like if you were playing Apex, but you couldn't play Wraith because you're not an Xbox. You know what I mean? Like if I was playing an Xbox, I still wouldn't like that business. I just think it's very shady, and with the Battle Pass, it just kind of confirms everything I was worried about.
I agree. It seems that I would be very hard pressed to buy this game now. I would be really hard pressed to buy this game. I think the battle pass was the nail in the coffin. Obviously, the Spider-Man, like that is an issue for me as well. I don't think it's just not fair. Like, and I think gamers are less. I mean, obviously, you still got your Sony and your Microsoft fanboys and Nintendo fanboys, but I think we're all pissed off with the cash grabbing going on. It's across the board, and it just seems unfair to do that with Spider-Man and Sony. But this specific point, the battle passes, like you said, it depends. You're right when you said this. That's another story. If it takes you a couple of hours to complete these characters, well, it's not that bad then, is it? But then you're paying £10 for that, and you're only getting a couple of hours worth of content. So you would expect it to be beefed out a bit. So it's a lose-lose as far as I'm concerned. From my perspective, there's no way this is a good thing for the gamers or for the game itself.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like you're paying the same price in Apex and Fortnite to last. And I mean, there's people that are going to complete it faster than others. But I think on average, people complete that battle pass towards the end of the whole season, which is like 3 months or something like that, which is going to last you a while. If you're telling me that this battle pass takes 3 months to complete it before you can begin your next free battle pass with that character, then that's not going to work. And if you're telling me that you can complete in a couple of hours, why am I paying £10 for it? And this is, and also we're not even addressed the fact that Apex and Fortnite are free to play. Yeah. I give them all the respect. I'll let them give any kind of battle pass they want if it's free to play. Like I always kind of think it's important that companies do make their money back. Like Fortnite shows that the money they make goes back into the game anyway, and it just makes it huger. But we're paying full price for this game anyway, and we got to buy a battle pass, and we got to buy another battle pass. And how many? And this is the type of game when it's it's built on different heroes being filling for different kind of gameplay, so you can complete that quest that you're trying to do. And already there's about 6 characters that are announced, and then we've got like 6 more after the game launches, which are free. I get it, but they're making the money back another way around it. You know what I mean? They are free, but they're not free at the same time.
Well, that's something I was going to ask you actually, because I don't know. So these other 6 characters that are going to be released, is it going to be the same system for them then?
Yeah, I'm assuming. Well, those characters are free, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's good." When they announced the game, they announced no loot boxes, and I think a lot of developers say that now just to kind of get in a good grace. But he said all the good things, all the right things they need to say about the game. And now when the game's starting to come towards launch, we're starting to hear these things. Yes, the characters are for free, but say Spider-Man does come and he's one of the characters that comes post-launch. You're going to have to buy the battle pass, or you're going to have to finish the battle pass. Like, say you're halfway through Iron Man and you still got another month left of battle pass worth to complete. You're going to pay another £10 because you want the battle pass for Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
I just think they're being very shady. And like I said before, it's enough for them to get under the radar because they got like their excuse. Yeah, but you can unlock it for free. So, I think they know what they're doing. And I think they're kind of getting away with murder a bit here.
I completely agree with you. It's shady business tactics. You're doing it with an MCU game. I mean, how much more money does the MCU actually need? Why couldn't they be giving back to the gamers at this point? But then I suppose you look at somewhere like Fortnite and you're like, well, at least I've got that. At least there's something there. You can play a decent MCU game.
Oh yeah, we talked about in our other discussion video when Anthony and Colin was there. We talked about the Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, which
Yeah.
is the same type of game as the Avengers. But I feel like I'm actually hyped for that game because the game looks and sounds great. When this, I'm kind of just want to play it because it's Marvel. But now
Yeah.
I don't even think that's enough now because of
No.
all the stuff I've seen and read. I don't care how much I love the Avengers or how much I love Marvel. I just can't justify it with the Spider-Man, the battle passes. It's just shady business from the get-go, and it's a full price game. What is going on? You don't normally see stuff like last time we saw this was Star Wars Battlefront, and look how badly that turned out.
I agree. I agree. But then you look at franchises like COD, which do it, and but they're established. They've got a decade's worth of industry experience behind them. They can afford to do that. They've got a platform. I don't think MCU can do this on this one.
Yeah.
I think they've dropped the ball at big time. And hopefully it crashes and burns. Just like Battlefront 2. And
Yeah.
they learned well, EA haven't learned shit from that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But then are there any other news stories that you've seen or anything else you want to talk about?
I think that's it from as far as I know. Yeah.
It's been an interesting month for gaming, I think. We've had a couple of big hits and a couple of letdowns, but
Yeah.
overall, I think it's been really enjoyable. So, to everyone who's watched this, thank you. It's just something new me and Nathan thought we'd try this month.
Yeah.
Hopefully, next month we'll get some more guys involved on it. Keep watching our channel, subscribe, like our videos, and keep an eye out for new content. Nathan's been pumping them out left, right, and centre, and I've been watching a lot of your Game Pass reviews, which are so good, especially the Goose Game, which I really love. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one. GG's.
GG's.